Um, so what was it um like in high school? Like, what are some things that you did for fun and stuff with your friends?
Well, mostly when I was in high school, football games were really huge. So we did that for fun. Um, I was not um, in a really popular group. I was never one of the popular kids in school. So a lot of what I did was family oriented and not so much school oriented. But the football games at school were huge. Going to the proms, those types of things were homecoming dances, things like that were very popular for fun. Um, I never got involved in any of the extracurricular clubs or anything like that. So my family was involved in ministry, so we spent a lot of time doing activities that were ministry related. So that didn't fit in that well with the public school that I went to.
Um, um, how has like cost of living, like houses and stuff, changed since you were younger? Do you do you know?
Well, the cost of living has definitely gone up. I can remember when you could get gas for 29 cents a gallon. So I would say the cost of living has gone up considerably since I was young. Um, I can remember that groceries were nowhere near as if you spent $100 on groceries, you were pretty much set for almost a month. Um, Nowadays, you're maybe set for 2 or 3 days, depending on what you're getting. Um, so I would say that the cost of living has gone up considerably. Life was much more simple when I was growing up, at least in my opinion, because it didn't seem to require as much as life um, seems to demand now. People, I think, were much happier and content with basic things than they are now. Technology was not a huge thing, so there was not, there was no cost for that. The biggest thing that we looked forward to was getting our own car, learning how to drive, and getting our own car. So, cost of living didn't really affect me very much as a young person, um, because we always seemed to have enough for what we needed. And again, there were 6 people living in the house, and we seemed to get by with just one person working. Now, you almost have to have 2 people in the household working, and again, going to the grocery store, going to the gas station, um, just going shopping in general is very costly. So it was not that way when I was growing up. Things were, it seemed to me, more cost effective.
Um, what is your favorite earliest memory of when you were a child? Like,
Well, when I was a child, that was very easy for me. Um, my best memory when I was a very young child was singing with my father. Um, my dad was quite a bit older. He and my mother were quite a bit older when I was born. And so it was almost like having a daddy and a granddaddy in the same person. So a lot of the time that we spent together was very fun and just relaxing and enjoyable. But the favorite thing that I ever did with him was sit on the side of the bed at night and sing. He would play the guitar and we would sing. And that was our ritual every single night. And that's probably my most favorite memory of my childhood, because my dad passed away when I was 7 years old. So I feel that that is something that I have that I can treasure for a lifetime. No one can take those moments away. When that was our special thing, where a lot of kids, you know, have maybe something favorite that they do with their parents before they go to bed at night. That was my favorite thing to do with him. That's the way we ended our day every day, and it was just so enjoyable. Another favorite memory was they had a place in Roanoke, Virginia called oh shoot, it was called it wasn't the Clover Creamery, it was the Roanoke Dairy, and we used to go there as a family almost every night in the summer and get ice cream. And it was a storefront building. Was nothing fancy, nothing at all fancy, but people would flock there in the summer just to get their ice cream because it was the best ice cream in Roanoke. And people would visit in their cars in the parking lot. You didn't have to be afraid then to get out of your cars and go up to people you didn't even know and just start a conversation with them. And so that was another pleasant memory. Was we'd wait till it was dark and things had kind of cooled down a little, because we didn't have air conditioning or anything like that when I was growing up. So we waited until it would cool down in the evening, and we'd get in the car and go to Roanoke Dairy. And it was lots of fun. I can still remember what we would order. My father would order orange pineapple ice cream. My mother loved lemon custard, and I would get the raspberry ripple.
That's pretty cool. Do you have any like favorite stories of when you were like anything that other than the singing with your dad? Do you have like any other favorite stories?
Well, it was always fun when like I said, my mom and dad were older when they had me, so I had a sister and brother that were both married and had already started their families when I came into the world. So I grew up with my nieces and nephews as though they were brothers and sisters. And so we were always, especially in the summer, I can remember playing in the yard with them. And when I was a kid, you went outside and played. There was no technology, no video games, no, your parents got up in the morning and they made sure you were fed and prepared for the day, and then if it was a nice day, you went outside and played. And a lot of times you played outside until it was dark, because we just loved everything about being outside. And so we used our imagination a lot. We had stick horses, literally stick horses. We loved climbing trees, and we loved playing cowboys and Indians, and then if it was just me and my nieces, we would actually play house. We had dolls, and we had, each one of us had a piece to a toy kitchen set. So we put our pieces together and we'd make our kitchen, and we just play with our dolls, and we would do that for hours and hours and hours. It seemed like it never grew old. We played jump rope. Even out in the middle of the street, we would get out there in the evenings and just play jump rope. Hula hooping was a big thing when I was growing up, and so we did that quite a bit. Playing tag with the neighborhood kids, hide and seek, just very simple, basic things. And there are times when, in my life, when I miss those days when things were so basic and things were so simple, and things were just simple fun. There wasn't any, it didn't take a lot of thinking about playing a game of tag or playing house or playing cowboys and Indians. You just did it. You just made it up as you went. And so I loved the idea that we could use our imaginations, and we could be anybody we wanted to be, and do whatever we wanted to do, accomplish whatever we wanted to accomplish. So those were some really good memories. The neighborhoods in the summertime in my neighborhood was really good memories. And then we had some neighbors that we used to go visit, and we helped. My mother would help them harvest their crops from their gardens, because growing gardens were a big thing That's how a lot of people got their vegetables. And so my mother would go and help with that, and then I got to play with the kids. And I remember one of my favorite things in the fall was stirring apple butter in this huge iron kettle outside. And this, of course, the ladle that you stirred it with was as big as you were. But I loved that, and I never realized that what I was doing was work. That the adults were actually getting us kids to work. I thought it was fun. It was more like a game to me. So those are some of my best memories and of growing up in my neighborhood. There was always someone to play with. There was always fun things to do, and we just enjoyed life. Life was, like I said, life was so basic and so simple. We didn't really know we had a care in the world. We really didn't. And then as I got older, some of my favorite memories are traveling and singing with my family. We used to do weekend revivals, and I love to sing, and so that was one of my favorite things, was practicing the music and getting it ready, and then getting in the car on Friday and going to the weekend revival and spending our time, up in front of people singing, and I loved it. I loved it. I still love to sing today.
Well, I don't think I have any more, so thank you for letting me interview you.
Well, you're certainly welcome.